ഒരേപോലത്തെ. അപ്പോൾ അടുത്തത് നമ്മൾ പുതിയൊരു ചാപ്റ്ററിലേക്ക് കിടക്കുകയാണ്. അതിനു മുമ്പ് നിങ്ങൾ ഈ വീഡിയോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പാട്ടൊന്ന്, കവിത ഒന്ന് കേൾക്കുക.
പ്രകൃതി എത്ര കാലം കൂടെ താങ്ങും? ഈ ഒരു ജീവിയെ എത്ര കാലം കൂടെ താങ്ങും? അമ്മയ്ക്ക് വേണ്ടാന്ന് പറയും. രാക്ഷസ ശിശുവാണ്, മുലപ്പാലിന് പകരം ചോര കുടിച്ച് വറ്റിക്കാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുന്നെങ്കിൽ അമ്മ പറിച്ചെറിയും മാറിൽ നിന്ന്. അത് ഓർമ്മയിരിക്കട്ടെ.
ഒരു തൈ നടാം നമുക്കമ്മയ്ക്കു വേണ്ടി, ഒരു തൈ നടാം കൊച്ചു മക്കൾക്കു വേണ്ടി, ഒരു തൈ നടാം 100 കിളികൾക്കു വേണ്ടി, ഒരു തൈ നടാം നല്ല നാളേക്കു വേണ്ടി. ഒരു തൈ നടാം നമുക്കമ്മയ്ക്കു വേണ്ടി, ഒരു തൈ നടാം കൊച്ചു മക്കൾക്കു വേണ്ടി, ഒരു തൈ നടാം 100 കിളികൾക്കു വേണ്ടി, ഒരു തൈ നടാം നല്ല നാളേക്കു വേണ്ടി. ഇതു പ്രാണവായുവിനായി നടുന്നു, ഇതു മഴയ്ക്കായി തൊഴുതു നടുന്നു, അഴകിനായി തണലിനായി തേൻപഴങ്ങൾക്കായി ഒരു 100 തൈകൾ നിറഞ്ഞു നടുന്നു, അഴകിനായി തണലിനായി തേൻപഴങ്ങൾക്കായി ഒരു 100 തൈകൾ നിറഞ്ഞു നടുന്നു. ഒരു തൈ നടാം നമുക്കമ്മയ്ക്കു വേണ്ടി, ഒരു തൈ നടാം കൊച്ചു മക്കൾക്കു വേണ്ടി, ഒരു തൈ നടാം 100 കിളികൾക്കു വേണ്ടി, ഒരു തൈ നടാം നല്ല നാളേക്കു വേണ്ടി.
I hope you know this poet, Malayalam poet, Sugatakumari, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What was it about? This poem, it reminds us about the importance of nature, right? It reminds us of the importance of planting trees and nurturing this whole nature, isn't it? Okay, and
Yes.
now let me give you another Malayalam poem by Viran Kutti. Hope you can see this, right? മണമിറ്റിച്ച് പൂക്കളും നിറം ചാലിച്ച് തളിരും മധുരം നിറച്ച പഴങ്ങളും നാം കേടാക്കിയ ലോകത്തെ നല്ലതാക്കാൻ കിണഞ്ഞു ശ്രമിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. മഴ കഴുകുന്നുണ്ട്, കാറ്റ് തുടച്ചു വെക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ നാളേക്കുള്ളത് ഉണക്കി സൂക്ഷിക്കുന്ന തിരക്കിലല്ലാതെ വെയിലിനെ? Let me read once again. മണമിറ്റിച്ച് പൂക്കളും നിറം ചാലിച്ച് തളിരും മധുരം നിറച്ച് പഴങ്ങളും നാം കേടാക്കിയ ലോകത്തെ നല്ലതാക്കാൻ കിണഞ്ഞു ശ്രമിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. മഴ കഴുകുന്നുണ്ട്, കാറ്റ് തുടച്ചു വെക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ നാളേക്കുള്ളത് ഉണക്കി സൂക്ഷിക്കുന്ന തിരക്കിലല്ലാതെ വെയിലിനെ? I hope you have got this point. And let me give you another poem by the same poet from the collection of poetry Minda Prani, which won Kerala Sahitya Academy Award in 2019, I think. And immediately after he received that Academy Award, he came to our college, and we had an interaction. Fortunately, anyway, the poem is നിലാവിൽ ഒരു കവിത. നാം ഇവിടെയിരുന്ന് ഭൂമിയിലെ എല്ലാ മരങ്ങളിലും കൂടി എത്ര ഇലകൾ എന്ന് എണ്ണിത്തുടങ്ങുന്നു. ഇലകൾ ഒരു തരത്തിലും സഹകരിക്കുന്നില്ല. അവയ്ക്കതിൻ്റെ കാര്യമൊന്നുമില്ല. ഓരോ ഇലയും ആത്യന്തികമായി ഒറ്റയ്ക്കാണ്. കൊഴിയുമ്പോഴേ നാം അതറിയുന്നുള്ളൂ എന്നേയുള്ളൂ. നിലാവിൽ ഒരു കവിത. നാം ഇവിടെയിരുന്ന് ഭൂമിയിലെ എല്ലാ മരങ്ങളിലും കൂടി എത്ര ഇലകൾ എന്ന് എണ്ണിത്തുടങ്ങുന്നു. ഇലകൾ ഒരു തരത്തിലും സഹകരിക്കുന്നില്ല. അവയ്ക്കതിൻ്റെ കാര്യമൊന്നുമില്ല. ഓരോ ഇലയും ആത്യന്തികമായി ഒറ്റയ്ക്കാണ്. കൊഴിയുമ്പോഴേ നാം അതറിയുന്നുള്ളൂ എന്നേയുള്ളൂ. And here I have given you this poem because it's titled as Nilavil Oru Kavita, right? And let me ask you the very important question. Is it about a poem or is it about trees? Is it about leaves or is it about a poem? Because why I'm asking you this thing is because the next poem that's there in your textbook is really important because of the title and the connotative meaning. Nilavil Oru Kavita. Is it about a poem or is it about leaves? Okay, let me remind you of the layers of meaning and the very charm of poetry. I'll give you what it is. Anyway, just read it. Let's go for the next poem. It's a very interesting poem. It's really nice one. Trees by Joyce Gilmore. See the first two lines. It's really interesting. I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the sweet earth's flowing breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. See, the last two lines are also fantabulous, and it's really provocative and thought-provoking. Poems are made by fools like me. Everyone can make poems like this, but only God can make a tree. But only God can make a tree. And here he is giving us indirectly something, right? Whatever it is, I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree. It's a direct comparison. Lovely as a tree. I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree. So, a poem as a tree. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. And he's giving us the details of summer season. See, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain. See the nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow, the snow season has come, and who intimately lives with rain. Rainy season has come. And at last he says, poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. It's another poem titled Trees by Joyce Gilmore. And this is a reference also, right? You can have it when you say something about trees or nature. I hope it is clear. And this is very common. I wanted to lonely as a cloud by William Wordsworth. You can read it silently. I wanted to lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in a sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For often, When on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, there flash upon that inward eye, which is the which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. So the last two line is enough. And then my heart with pleasure fills. My heart is filled with pleasure and dances with the daffodils. Again, see, at a sight of just one sight of daffodils, 10,000s at a glance. It says about that this poem could be an outcome of daffodils, right? Anyway, he's also enchanted with the beauty of the nature. William Wordsworth, one of the greatest romantic poets of English literature. So it also reminds us the importance of nature. Am I clear to you so far? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I hope you have enjoyed all these poems. Let me give you the last poem, and after that, I'll go to the text. It's a very simple poem, just a handful of lines here. A flower was offered to me, such a flower as may never bow. Ply said I have pretty rose tree, and I passed the sweet flower over. Then I went to my pretty rose tree to tend her by day and by night. But my rose turned away with jealousy, and her thorns were my only delight. Wow. Again, the last line touches our heart. But my rose turned away with jealousy, and her thorns were my only delight. See, the poet was offered a flower. It was such a beautiful flower, but he refused it, right? Because he says, I have a pretty rose tree. I have a pretty rose tree in my home. And he passes the sweet flower over and goes to the pretty rose tree to tend by day and by all night. But unfortunately, the rose turns away with the jealousy. It withers. And her thorns were the only delight for the poet. Oh no, no! I don't be sad. I don't have any issues. No worries, because I have the thorns with my. See, I have at least the thorns of this rose tree. That's my only delight. Tennyson rightly puts, I hold it true, whatever before. I feel it when I sorrow most. It is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. The whole Victorian sentiment is there in the poem. It is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Right? So that's the point here, right? Though it withers, yet he has the thorns with his hand. So that's the only delight. So that's a carpe diem. That's a sense. Seize the day. Seize the day, and please protect your nature. This is not only for your survival. This is for the other generation also. It is for the another generation also. It is for the next generation also. Again, you will get lots of layers of meanings, and I don't interfere in your meanings. So why I have given you all these poems, because I just want you to bring, or I just want you to drag you to this poem, On Killing a Tree by Gieve Patel. So this is the next poem for you. This is the next chapter for you in Zeitgeist, On Killing a Tree by Gieve Patel, in the same theme, sustainable environment. I hope I have delivered some goods here with the same theme, sustainable environment. Okay, and the title is significant, On Killing a Tree. So killing is something related with human, right? Or living things. Can't we kill a tree? Is it possible to kill a tree? Can we kill a tree, Tasneem? Is it possible? What do you think?
Yes, I think.
Yes, okay. So this is the point. on killing a tree, and he's at least considering the tree as a human being, right, as a living thing. And this is exactly what Chief Seattle concerns, right? You should consider all the non-living things as a human being, as your brothers and sisters. Only then will you be able to, survive. Only then will you be able to what, protect this nature. Only then will you be able to see the nature as, or what do we say, as we are part of the nature, not the nature part of us. Okay, so that's the point he's conveying through the poem. And here also, on killing a tree by Gieve Patel is also a wonderful poem, which reminds us again the importance of planting a tree. And the title is significant because of the word, because of the phrase killing, and he indirectly gives us something very important. Okay, let's have a look at it. And before that, let me give you an introduction to the author. It was Gieve Patel, who was born on 18th August 1940. He is an Indian poet and playwright, and his first play was called Princess, and it was performed in 1971. Was born in Mumbai and educated at Grant Medical School. He briefly worked as a medical examiner in rural Gujarat before moving back to Mumbai. He currently resides in Mumbai and practices medicine there. He is also a painter as one of the contemporary Indian artists. Has been part of exhibitions around the world. Okay, please keep in mind the red light. Indian poet and playwright. He is an Indian poet and playwright. Okay, Gieve Patel. Gieve Patel. Okay, well, let me give you what is Indian English literature. I have to tell you that there are Englishes around the world, like Canadian English, American English, African English, British English, right, etc. And Indian English is Indian English literature, IEL, commonly we call, refers to the body of work by writers in India who write in who write in the English language and whose native or co-native language could be one of the numerous languages of India. Example, freedom. Like Rabindranath Tagore is a Bengali poet, but he writes in English, right? Its early history, and Kamala Das again, another one. Its early history began with the works of Michael Madhusudan and Dutt, the chief propagates or propounders of Indian English literature. Then was Michael Madhusudan and Dutt, who was considered as the father of Indian English literature, and R.K. Narayan, is a famous one of the most what wonderful writers, and Mulkraj Anand and Raja Rao. Okay, these three persons are very important as far as Indian fiction is concerned. Okay, in 1930s, because they contributed greatly or immensely to Indian English fiction in 1930s. And let me give you about on killing a tree. See, the poem On Killing a Tree was one of the poems of his poetry collection named Poems, published in 1966. This collection was launched by Nizam Ezekiel, and most of Patel's poems center on a human body. On Killing a Tree too is one such poem. Okay, so it was from the collection of named poems. Okay, and before you go to the poem, you should know what is the setting of On Killing a Tree. See, the poem is set on a very visual plane because the descriptions are very vivid and the mood is very sad because it's something about killing a tree, right? It's not a pleasant one. There also hangs a sense of darkness upon the poem because the pain felt by the trees as imagined by Patel dominates the entire mood of the poem. Of course, we can deduce that it's something related with killing a tree or cutting a tree. But he says something really important here at the very last of this poem, because he never says us don't cut a tree. That's really weird and strange. Okay, but he says something else in the poem, right? So it's something that what we call it's a technique. I think it's a sarcastical and ironical poem, we should say. Anyway, let's have a look at it. On killing a tree. So in the next class, please read the poem carefully and attend the class. I insist you all to read the poem very carefully. Okay, at least twice or once. You got it? Before you attend the class, please read it. On killing a tree. So I'll give you the poem in the next class. And please be there. Let me take. Can I have the absentees today? Just wait. Rania is there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tasneem is there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Faiza, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Safa is there? No. Okay. Niba, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Shifana? Yes, Fatima Shifana.
Yes.
Dilshana? Dilshana, you there? No. Neima is there? BCom? No. Nafila? Yes, I think Nafila is there, right? Afnida is there? Afnida? Bismi? Bismi, she has got some connection problem. Fatimat Suhra? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this Nafila is not here, right, Suhra? See,